Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're gearing up for your Cambridge business exam, you know enterprise is a pretty huge topic, so you're in the right place. In this quick explainer, we're going to break down absolutely everything you need to know, from section 1 to feel confident and totally exam ready.
So here's what's on the docket. We'll kick things off by defining what enterprise actually is. Then we'll look at the people who drive it, its huge impact on the economy, and the different forms it can take. And then, of course, we'll wrap it all up with a quick quiz to make sure all this knowledge is locked in. Sound good? Let's get started.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The word enterprise gets thrown around all the time, right? But for your exam, you need to know exactly what it means. So, what is it really?
And to really get to the heart of it, you've got to start with a person. Think about it. What is that one essential spark, that critical ingredient that takes a simple idea and turns it into a real, living, breathing business? Well, that spark, it's the entrepreneur. This is the person, the individual, with the vision and the drive who pulls together all the other resources to actually make something happen. You know, a good way to think about it is like a recipe. You've got your ingredients, the raw materials, the people to do the work, and the money and machines to get it done. But without the entrepreneur, the chef really, they're just separate pieces. They're the catalyst, the one who mixes it all together to create a brand new, functioning business. And a massive part of what they do, and listen up because this is a critical concept for your exam, is adding value. It's basically the magic of turning, say, $1's worth of plain old wood into a beautiful chair that you can sell for $10. That $9 difference, that's the value that was added.
Okay, so the entrepreneur is the catalyst. We've got that. But what kind of person actually does this? What makes them tick? Let's dig into the key traits that you absolutely need to know. And trust me, Cambridge examiners love asking about these. First, they are natural risk takers, often putting their own cash on the line. They are also innovators, always on the lookout for that gap in the market. They've also got to be multi-skilled, especially in the beginning, juggling everything from marketing to finance. And finally, and this one is so important, they need resilience to bounce back when things go wrong. All right, now let's zoom out a bit. Because entrepreneurs aren't just creating businesses for themselves. They have a massive impact on the entire country's economy. I mean, have you ever wondered why governments are always talking about supporting startups and small businesses? Well, there's a very good reason. Their impact is absolutely huge. So check this out. It really boils down to 3 major benefits for the economy. First up, job creation. New businesses need people, which lowers unemployment. Next, they fuel economic growth. By making new stuff, they directly boost a country's wealth, or GDP. And finally, they boost competitiveness, coming up with new ideas and products that can be sold abroad as exports. Okay, this next part is super important. You have to understand that not all enterprises are built for the same reason. Let's break down the 2 main models that you'll definitely need to compare and contrast for your exam. And the big difference, the thing that separates them, it all comes down to their primary objective. On one hand, you have your typical profit-driven business, like a tech startup. Its goal is simple, make as much money as possible for the owners. But then you've got the social enterprise, like Tom's Shoes. Its main goal is to achieve a social mission. And here's the absolute key. Any extra money they make gets plowed right back into that mission. Okay, you've soaked up the theory. Now it's time to see if it's really stuck. Let's do a few quick-fire exam-style questions to find out. All right, question 1. Let's start with a big one. What is the best definition of adding value? Go ahead and pause if you need a second to think. Did you get B? If so, awesome. You're exactly right. It's all about that transformation, the value created during the process, not just the final profit. All right, number 2. Picture this. An entrepreneur opens a cafe in a remote village where there are 0 other shops. Which quality are they primarily showing off here? Take a second. And the answer is B. They've identified a gap in the market. I mean, this is a textbook example, right? Seeing a need that no one else is filling and jumping right in. Okay, last one. What is the number 1 most important primary feature of a social enterprise? Go on, pause here and lock in your answer. The answer is C. And this is the real takeaway, guys. They use business principles to achieve social goals. They do make a profit or a surplus, but that money isn't the point. It's just the fuel they use to power their social mission.
And that just about wraps up the core content. I want to leave you with this quote because I think it just perfectly captures that proactive, forward thinking spirit that really defines an entrepreneur.
So, as we finish up here, I'm going to leave you with a question. You've got the theory now, you've seen how it works. So, take a look around your own world, your own community. What's a gap in the market that you could be the one to fill?